section, on the chat section. Chat us up. Tell us what you think about the topics of the day. What insights do you have about the topics of the day? What's your favorite meme for the day? And let's have an amazing time. So let's get into today's episode. Hello, Firebrand.
Welcome to Firebrand Nation News. I'm your host with the mostest, Firebrand Michelle. Welcome to this amazing, interesting, impactful show, and really funny because of the meme section. But before we get into that, I have an amazing array of guests. Like, these people are family, and allow them to introduce themselves. Let's start from the lady in black. Introduce yourself.
My name is Antonia Ngaiwa. I am a counseling psychologist, and I am also a podcaster. Thank you for inviting me.
What's going on?
First of all, I wanted to start by saying an array of guests. I mean, there's just
but y'all are still representing. Yes. Hey.
Anyway, like I said, my name is Antonia Ngaiwa. I am a counseling psychologist, and I am a podcaster. Well, thank you for having me in the show.
You're welcome. Firebrand Joshua. Don't drop the ball though.
I'm still at the podcaster.
Yes. And a mentalist.
So I'm trying to see how do I connect.
You don't have to.
Don't force it.
All right, let me try. My name is Joshua Joe.
Wow.
What else?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Mentalist.
I'm a podcaster.
What?
The audacity.
I'm a podcaster.
That doesn't even work.
Someone say you are a netcaster because you're the fisher of men.
Really?
Boy.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm the podcaster.
Kwa nini tuna force the cast?
Yeah, the caster. It has to. If there is a podcaster, then I'm a second caster.
Don't force issues.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Everything else is on Google.
Are you really on Google?
Joshua Joe. You find something about me on Google. Definitely, even if it's my black and white picture. You definitely find it on Google.
Boy.
Just Google Joshua Joe. You'll find something.
Are you sure to have this sponsorship not?
I know, right?
No, I'm not. I'm actually on Google. Just you can try.
Okay. Also, welcome to the show. That was one of the longest introduction. Somebody having to think about the introduction before introducing themselves.
It's
like,
hard.
who does that? But anyway, you're still my array of guests. Very important. Welcome once again to the greatest show on JBN television. If you wanna, you can remember to use the hashtag Panel This Monday on all our social media platforms. Remember to use once again the hashtag on all our social media platforms on JBN Television, Firebrand Nation, and Firebrand Nation Kenya on Facebook. Let's see the meme section. Take it over. Take it over. Drum rolls, please.
Na sasa ni wakati wa Oh, it's meme time. Firebrand Antonia.
Take it over.
Aha. Nikimpost afanane na wako. We jua ni
Twins.
Wow. Must be nice.
One that exists.
Habari ndio hiyo. Akifanana na wako,
Twins.
sifikirie kitu ingine, ni twins. Twins.
Yeah.
Kwa hii Nairobi na character development.
Ika Nairo jo ni hivyo tu. Ni twins ni wengi.
Hata yeye angesema doppelganger. Yeye angesema doppelganger. Kama the story you had a few weeks ago. Anyway.
Achana na hiyo.
Eta siguzi. Next view.
At 25 hii Kenya. Uko tu na smartphone, suitcase, heartbreak na fuliza. Yaani
Kila mtu ako na deni,
Nakusho.
CRB.
Uko na yani at 25 hauna kitu. Uko na tu na smartphone.
Na kitambo by 25 watu walikuwa na bibi na watu kadhaa.
Wow. Like they have their lives.
Yaani at 25 hata uja graduate bado.
You're still figuring out what
university maybe ilifungwa.
Ama umefika course katikati. Alafu you're like apana, this is not the course I want, so you're still juggling in between courses.
Ama umekuwa ukifollow your missing marks for the past year.
I know.
Just an array of many things.
Unabaki tu na nini? Na heartbreak ndio hiyo pale kampo.
Character development.
Manze.
Kenya Institute of Character Development.
Your Fuliza limit is
what?
I'm telling you.
But anyway. The next meme. Hii nyumba kwani itaisha lini? Since the day I came to Nairobi till I mean, wait. Kwanza English ya huyu mtu inani confuse. Anyway, hii nyumba kwani itaisha lini? Since the day I came to Nairobi till date iko yani inaendelea tu.
Alafu acha nitaina hii meme. Hii net ya OTC imekaa kuliko some of your relationships.
What?
Oh, the violence.
Where?
Kama unaweza pata inspiration from anything.
Unaweza.
Ewan.
Sasa msetu alikuwa anatembea pale OTC randomly. Kwanza basi seli kuja kitambo. Hizi tuk-tuks bado zinakuanga.
Zinakuanga. Hapo tu kwa stage.
Zinakuanga hapo mbele.
Ziko.
Yeah.
Okay.
Za kwenda Jogoo Road. Awesome. Let's do how many? 2 last memes.
Wacha tufanye ya KRA. Youth wanatoa magari wapi bana? KRA care. Feel welcome to join this discussion. Wasa KRA ndio sisi tuliambiwa ni God manze.
Ni nani kama si God?
Like
ukipata 102 million kwa account yako.
Just like that. Just like that, eh?
God.
Speaking about that, how awesome would it be? Atisa, because it's a gift of being pregnant. Anona too, babe. Shika 1.2 million. Babe, like I know the struggle of carrying. Just let me carry you. Chop this bunny.
Yani but history ya KRA manze inaninice tu sana. Yani siku hizi kujiandika pale social media pale ni tricky.
Not unless we say una file nil returns, you're up to date with your taxes.
I don't know if you guys saw this lady mwenye alipatiwa was it 200 million?
Same the tunasema. The
102.
The 102 million. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, with her Bitcoin boyfriend. Millionaire boyfriend.
So KRA hapo wanasemaje?
Si wanamtafuta. I heard sijui kani kweli, but apparently they were looking for her and she was like, I am outside, I am not in the country, I am studying for my exams.
Yeah, I saw something like that.
Yeah.
Like ni exam nitakalia ama ni KRA naenda kujibu. I was like, nikimaliza exam nitakam.
I mean, you don't really need to tax that money. It's a gift.
I know. How do you tax gifts?
How awesome would it be anytime you're pregnant?
Nani God manze.
Anytime you're pregnant, your boo thing showers you with 1.2 million.
Yeah.
Like, thank you so much for taking my generation to the next level. Shika.
Alafu KRA nao ndio hao.
Bill kwangu.
But have you seen actually KRA have made a lot of losses? I don't know if you've seen that.
Is it billion or million?
Yeah.
Something?
They've made 9 point something losses. Yet wanataxwa say ile mbaya. So unashindwa shida iko wapi?
Points ni zile.
Mna taxwa say then mnaiba hiyo do. Actually ilikuwa wanasema
hostility in neighboring communities.
Hiyo do imekuwa deposited in a foreign account somewhere.
Offshore.
Wow.
Okay. Let's do the last me.
And me, Inayapana. I started doubting this country the very day I found a generator in a KPLC office. And someone else says, wewe wacha hiyo, kuna police stations ziko na watchman. Si zote ziko na. Si polisi. Si police stations zote ziko na watchman kwa gate.
Watchman wale security companies. Okay.
Almost as a CG, but
that's exactly what this scene is about. And then I saw the continuation of this. Somebody was saying, pia yeye alienda Nairobi, watu akapata wameka maji ya dasani kwa dispenser.
What? Okay. Welcome to Kenya.
Welcome to Kenya.
But
it's only in Kenya.
But KPLC kiona generator ni funny.
Aki. I mean.
Okay, get the joke, but anyway, wacha make logical.
No,
no, it's not important. It's meant to be a meme section. It's not meant discussing over the memes.
Ngori. Hiyo hafai kuwa na generator.
For your power.
I want to swap your power. So why should you have a generator? I mean,
What's in backup?
Backup for what? And you're the source. I mean.
Okay, so anyway. Iko na undertones nyingi sana, which I will not get into. I have to do this meme. Kenyans calling 911. 911, what's your emergency? Kenyans, kumbe inafanyanga.
I mean, you just have to make
You gotta do. In Kenya, it's very important.
Ati call 911 or what's this other number? 999. Hiyo ni kitambo.
Kenya, Kenya kweli? Wait,
999.
999?
Yeah, ilikuwa nafanya at some point. Yeah.
Ni emergency ya nini?
Ni makarao tu.
Oh, so ni 911 ama 999?
Yeah.
Okay. I do not relate, but so what happened?
Show up, but I mean, yes.
It's like,
do they?
No, they don't. Ni ngumu.
Do they? Lakini ile inaingianga directly ni ya nini? Watu wa kuzima maji. Wazima moto, it enters here, it goes directly. Like that's when they answer. At the first ring, they answer.
Sasa hizo unaweza piga upate customer care alienda lunch.
Kuna hiyo fulani za inaonyeshanga za mduda kidance. Ati wait as we connect you, Safaricom customer care, wait as we connect you to the next available agent. Alafu the next available agent ana dance kwa ofisi from one point to the other. I mean, man.
It's like I saw this other one ya mtu pale Twitter alikuwa anauliza, anasema okay, they were asking, the question was, what's your worst customer service that you've ever received? Then this guy anasema alicall customer care wa a certain company. Akareceive akiwa command.
I think niliona hiyo meme kuna kampuni ilikuwa trolled hapo hivyo. I was like, wow.
I feel like Kenya tunafaa kuwa na documentary ya Kenyan Chronicles. You know, there are things that happen in Kenya.
Alafu mtu anamuuliza, mtu anamwambia ati sasa mtu analipwa 11,000, una expect receive akiwa wapi?
Kanaenda home ama anaenda biashara nyingine.
Exactly.
Wow.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I'm telling you. Yani maliza.
Only in Kenya.
Unapiga customer care. Unasikia ile muziki kwa background yani kwa mat. Au unasikia kwa ndani kusema beba. But afadhali at least customer care anachukua.
Really launchwangi.
Kwa zile wachukuangi.
Awesome. To dive into the topic of the day, those memes are really awesome. Remember to put on our comment section which was your best meme. Hands down, 911. Naspaja kuna 999. But hands down, 911. Which was yours?
To be the KPLC
na generator.
Yeah.
Same.
Na oda company na dasani.
Yeah.
Cause hao ndo nafaa kutengeneza maji yao. Besides maji. Okay.
Yeah.
Ay.
Hi, there was a certain article on BBC. You can get it on Instagram. There's a country that has banned bosses from texting their employees past working hours. So,
Which country is that again?
Definitely not Kenya.
be very careful, your bosses might be watching.
I might just call out on my boss to listen on this.
The internet never forgets.
The internet never forgets. Anyway, that is never happening in Kenya.
I don't think it's ever happening. However, what would be your take on that? Is it something that is, because emergencies do happen.
Right.
Do you think the same rules should be passed in Kenya? Let's start with that point.
I mean, it depends with the company. Na pia, if at all it depends with the company and they need to work, they need to operate 24 hours, then kuna employees were during the day and others working during the night. So such that if there is an emergency, you don't have to really find someone else who's not, at least kuna someone ready. Not unless this person was dealing with something during the day which is required after 9 hours. And I think it is a considerable thing to pass, like, yeah, stop, at least kunajua kuna bosses wengine ukiona tu simu yao, anxiety levels nini, and you just know your night ndio hivyo imeisha tu hivyo, like your peaceful moment of the day is just cut like that. I think it makes sense. It kind of makes sense. So tuseme in an instance of actual emergency, kukwe na line ya an emergency line to show, okay, you see, kama we know Safaricom numbers, someone can't fool you, you know this is Safaricom calling. So workplace kukwe na that number, that when you see that number calling, you know it's actually an emergency. Yeah, I think it's a good policy to implement. For me, I think it's a good one.
Also, Firebrand, Joshua?
I think it's something that need to be probably discussed before introducing it in the country. First, I believe in delivery in terms of like when you're given work, how you deliver and how quick you deliver versus time. Because you might like, let's say you've been called those weird hours, but you have actually not worked. You understand? So for me it's more of work. It's more of work than time. It's not more of,
so if you've not worked within the stipulated time, it's okay for your boss to call you
okay
past
for you
hours.
to be called past hours. But it needs to be, if you cannot work the whole day, but again during the night you're being called. Understand? I think basically it depends with the kind also of work that you've been given, because not everyone can be called at any time, depending with the urgency of your docket. But also, if it's going to be introduced in Kenya, then let's talk also about the introduction of increase in salaries. Because if you have to call me those, it's overtime, so I need to be paid overtime. So I have no problem introducing it in the country, but also some of those things should be looked into.
Awesome. So let's do the flip side. Let us talk about the employees, because we've talked about the employers. So there was an article on Instagram on Centonomy IG, and it was titled "Why Your Employer Does Not Pay You More." So the person explains a couple of things, but do you think that the millennials, so let's move because that's the generation that we are in anyway, do you think that the millennials have an entitlement to asking things when because let me give you the backstory of the article. So the article says the reason why your employer does not pay you more is because A, you don't understand the functioning of the company. So in this case, if you are a receptionist and you're working in an accounting firm, it should be your responsibility to understand how your company flows. Because it's annoying at times. So according to the article, it's usually annoying when you call a company and you have to be sent to you have to be redirected to three different three different agencies, in the sense that kuna kwanga na marketing. So if you want something from marketing, you have to wait, you need to be redirected to the marketing call. So he was saying that for you need to first understand how your company runs, from the watchman, the whole, but in this case, let's talk about the receptionist, because that is what the person uses. And then secondly, you don't understand the mind of the employer, because you need to understand where company rates are going high when the company rates are low. So with that in mind, do you think that our generation thinks that, or feel like they have an entitlement to receive more than they input? Moment of silence.
I think it's a whole thing to it. It's like on many factors that need to be considered. First of, the company employee, right? They actually, before you're employed, people go through interviews, and you're grilled, and you have to answer certain questions for them to actually decide that you qualify for this position. And now, I want to believe that when companies are employing, especially when it's those entry level, like it's your first time working in that position, a little bit of training here and there, so that you get to understand now the mind of the employer, the goals of the company, the visions of the company. Now there is that aspect. And now millennials being entitled to payment or whatever it is. First off, when you speak of entitlement as an individual, knowing that I'm delivering what is required of me, you understand? If I am delivering to the point, to the core of what is expected of me, then I should know my worth enough to require you to pay me.
Natural.
Yeah, worth what I'm giving. But sometimes we don't know how kujitetea. You go to a place and you hear, okay, this is what we are giving. Unaulizangwa sometimes what is your expected salary? And probably you do your research, okay, so watu wa hii level in other companies doing these things, how much are they being paid? And you put that. But then, is it utanyanyaswa, ama is it, okay, they look at you and feel like you're an amateur and not actually underpay you? But then again, still circling back to the main question, being entitled, I feel like as long as someone knows that they're delivering to how they are required to deliver, then they're entitled to ask for more. But then again, there has to be evaluation in a company. If someone is not meeting the required is not delivering what is required, you gave the example of a receptionist. Okay, they need to know the basic things. I mean, how things run to a certain level. And also, kuna vitu zingine they do not know. It means they are signing up for more than they are being paid for. If I need to know what in the marketing department, kuna zile basic, okay, they do this, there's this, like then those surface level that involves a receptionist. And all those, then it means for this knowledge that I have to disperse out there, then you need to add more to what I'm needing. But as long as Kenya mlini employ nifanya, I am doing it, then I am worth that money that I'm being given.
No, let's just because we're in Kenya anyway. Do you think the much you need to know in a company needs to be leveled with the amount of salary? Because I usually feel that's what usually happens. But because I think about Kitambo, I don't know how many years, let me backdate probably 10 years when our parents now were probably younger and working in the field. there's always a narrative of you start low and then you go building it up. So do we need to follow the same trend, or do you just go straight to what you were given? If you've learned, if you have information to a certain degree, you need to be paid from a certain degree. Because Kitambo, you'd find like they didn't have an issue. You can start from a receptionist level and work your way up. But then now there's a trend of I cannot start low. If I've studied this and this, I have to start from this level. Should we shift our minds because now we've shifted generations, or should we still have the same thing that even if you go to a company and you have a degree on something, but then that's the position you've gotten if you work your way up?
I think both can work depending with the situation. If you get into a company and you have this qualification, then begin from your qualification. Begin from that position that you qualify for, because you might not have maybe the experience needed, but you have the know-how. You have that knowledge, and you can be able to, with time, you will be able to understand that exact company, what they need and what they do. But basically you have the ability of what it takes to do that specific job or assignment. But also, if actually these days the regulation that regulates the employees, such that if you have this kind of qualification, you cannot start from maybe a certain lower position. You can only start from a certain position, getting a certain amount of salary because of your qualification. But I would also say it's good to start from even the lower level going up, because sometimes you find the levels that you want to start from are not available, or maybe they want a certain experience. You must have a certain experience which you don't have. Probably you've just graduated from university and you're starting. Then it's good to start even from a lower position and grow. And when you look at most of the companies, what they are doing, they are not taking people who have experience right now. They are taking people who have less experience so that they grow up with them. Then begin from the lower position.
Go building it up.
Yeah, then go building it up. And they show the value of the employees, such that they sell you the vision to a place where I can be in this company, let's say for 5 years, and I'll have grown. And that's how I've seen a number of companies rebranding, changing the narrative from let's get this person from this position to a place now they are growing their own. And that's I think it's the best way to go.
Is it wise, given the fact that when you get somebody who you're growing with, it might take longer, as opposed to somebody who's been doing it and has half, like you see, is it better to go half the race, getting somebody who will take you like already half the race, he's already done it half, so when they come to the company you go full on, or is it better to begin with somebody from baby steps?
I think it depends with where you see your company in the years to come, because these are people, when you grow with people, they get the DNA of the company, they get to grow with the company, and they understand fully the vision of the company. Unlike someone who is qualified and has just come, and the challenge with getting somebody who has been there is they have their own way of doing something. So they might not necessarily sometimes buy into the
New
vision
ideas
of that company. So that's why some of the company, not all, prefer building their own people, and they have this generation who have understood the company. And that's the same way when you look at Facebook, they've done the same thing. Yeah, growing with people.
Okay, let's move from that. Actually, let's expand on your point. Yesterday, we were having a very random discussion with the Matatu driver, and basically about the running of our country. It's awesome you brought that point up. So for him, his way of thinking was like, what we need is an older person to run the government. Because in his words, vijana wakiingia kwa government wanapita na kila kitu. As opposed to somebody, and he factored in like the past Nairobi governor, the previous one who was there, Dr. Evans Kidero, and then the one after Sonko. So he was like, according to him, our country needs to be led more by people who have a lot of experience and have been there for years, because vijana wametunyorosha. What do you guys think?
I feel like age doesn't really matter. Probably experience, but age doesn't really matter. Kwa sababu, if I come to you, okay, tuseme me and someone older than I am, and we need to sell to you this phone, and I tell you, okay, I look at you, and probably you run your own business, or at the same time you go to school, and I look at you and I probably have an idea of what you need, and I come, I tell you, okay, this phone, you can actually store books. It has an app that helps you store books, your school books, which you can need here, and it has also, you can manage your time around your business and how to manage schoolwork, and then there's this other person older and comes and tells you and sells it to you in a way that, okay, so in their own way. I want to know how an older person will sell it to you. But all I'm trying to say is the person, their values, their principles. You understand? I might be a young person, but my vision for the country is not just to go there and take all the money I can get while in that position. And the same could apply to an older person. Their aim for the country is to mature the country, is to put the country in a place where they are able to import, to export its resources and actually gain from it. As in, it's all, for me, it's the core of the person. It's the value of the person. Where are they seeing the country? How do they hold the position that they get? Yeah, that is how I see it. It's the person and not probably the age or, yeah, probably the experience, but at the same time, still the person. Yeah.
But does an experience come with age? Because as he's saying, what an older person sees seated down, you'd have to climb on top of a tree. Because I'm paraphrasing because it's the words are running in vernacular. So the younger person would have to climb a tree to see.
I think when it comes to national leadership, we need both. We cannot say we are entirely safe on the older generation or younger generation. We need both, because the older people have experience, the younger people are fast. You understand? So the older generation can bring their experience with what they've been through, but the younger person can easily implement because they are swift and they know how to, they've grown with technology, they understand it. So for example, things like the laptops that the government promised the Kenyans.
I'm still waiting.
You're still waiting. The older generation can give the promise, but the younger generation understands the importance of probably the laptop in school. You understand? But again, coming to what Firebrand says, it's about the values. It's about the values, basically. Because regardless of age, if you don't have the values, the older person has already stolen. So they are now protecting what they've stolen. The younger person is now
wants to accumulate.
Yeah, wants to begin stealing the public resources. So both of them are not. I'll ask what I'll use Francis Atwoli's words. In whose hands are we safe? You know? So we ain't safe in the older generation. We ain't safe in the younger generation. Actually, most of the younger people who have been chosen in parliament, most of them, the statistics shows they've not done much as was expected. Probably they have done much, but not as people are expecting. They haven't been vocal as people are expecting them to be vocal. They've not fought for young people as people are expecting. You know, So it's not, we ain't safe in anyone's hands. I mean,
And let's circle back to what we were just speaking about, the company and the values.
Yes.
This young generation, they came into a government that was already running.
right.
So they had to adapt to this already running
the
government.
systems.
So how do they put their values in this already running system? That unless probably they begin it, or they infiltrate it in a way that is their way, a youthful way or something. So yeah, that could be one of the reasons that they are not as vocal as expected, didn't do as much as expected, because some of they came and found something that has already been running, a method that it had already started and being implemented. So them now molding and meshing into this system now has to be something that you need to now find your way into. Yeah.
I think when there is the morality of the society and those values are adhered to, then the younger and the older can work best together. Yeah, because as I said, the older have experience. They are able to advise the younger generation and tell them, this is what we did and this is what succeeded. So instead of trying things afresh, they are able to build from where the older if we say we can work without the older generation, there are those people who fought for independence,
Right.
you know. So we cannot assume like they never existed,
Right.
or like they did nothing. People who fought for multi-party and what else,
Let's
just the
fight for
democracy.
independence. Right.
Let's say democracy. Where were the young people then? If we
In
say
their
now,
loins.
yeah. If we say
Like technically.
if young people will say we don't need the older people, and I think that's not, even when campaigning, that's not the phrase to use. Like, oh, we want young people, leave alone the old people.
Right.
And
Because that's usually the narrative.
yeah,
So
and the vice versa. The old people can't say the young people know nothing, they'll steal from you, don't elect them. No, we need the blend.
balance. Awesome. So as we bring the discussion to a close, is morality relative?
I think we've answered that question.
Not really. You've not. No, you've not. You have not. Because nowadays there's usually a trend that don't judge me. Yeah. It's my truth. So carrying that statement, it's my truth. Is truth relative?
I feel like the problem is we do not have our source. I was telling my friends, for me, I was giving an example. I always want to make sure I read the Bible the moment I wake up. And why? Why do I want to do this? Because I am a Christian, and the Christian principles have been instilled in me, and I understand them. So Christianity is my core. It is my base. So anything that I say, it has to stem from the Bible. Everything that I believe in has to stem from the Bible. So with this day and age when people coming wakisema, okay, this is my truth. It is not the truth that is from the Bible. Everyone has their truth, their morals. Okay, sababu they don't want to be judged. Okay, so you are judging me from what point? Where are we standing in together? So that you can judge me from that point where we are standing. So I think that's the problem. People don't have their base. If they do have their base, it's not a universal base. Because Christianity is not practiced by every individual. So what I consider moral to me, it might seem societal kama kitambo, but squeezy things have changed. So we do not have a universal core of where we stand. We just have Christianity and religion and people who practice probably interesting things, and we do not have a common ground. And that is why I feel morality nowadays is not really absolute. It is relative. Yeah.
Just to add on that, I think it will depend with the society, because truth in Kenya, the truth that we think this is the truth in Kenya, cannot be the truth in let's say in the Western country. So there are those things that are absolute, but there are some things that are not absolute. But they are fundamentals. Things like respect, things like saying the truth, being open. There are some of the things that, especially when it comes to humanity, there are those basic things that, regardless of where you're coming from, you are born with. You know, and those
that
are
you need.
I think those are the things we should be looking at. You know, for example, saying the truth. We were born with it. Like, it's something, when you don't say the truth, you know you're wrong. When we grow up, those are the things that we learn, you know. So for me, I think those are the things we should be looking at. We have core values as even as a society and as a country. Let's talk about as Kenyans. There are those things that define us as Kenyans, as Africans. And those are the things that we should, those are our truth. And those are things that we should hold on. So whether you're a politician, a religious person, a career person, there are those things that define us. And those are things that we hold on to. So for me, I believe we cannot probably have the absolute truth, but we can have a relatable truth that we can hold on and that can unite us as a country, as people, and most importantly, as humanity. Yes.
Awesome. I don't think I need to really add anything more. Like the words you all have used, fundamentals, core values. But I personally think there's one thing that is very important is you need to factor your why. Is my truth the reason behind your truth? Is it because as you say, there are things that we are built in innately? So I think the first thing that you need to do is factor where your source comes from. Don't just run with it because it's trendy. That's the other thing, because also why truth is really becoming kind of relative is because we move with the trends. And you can tell that especially the millennials, our truth is based on the West, because the West have a way of changing the whole mindset. Whatever they do really guides what African countries do. So we need to factor in, as you say, then again, we need to, what is our truth as Africans? And then thirdly, the word of God, that's where the truth comes out. And there it's absolute. And I think that's the one thing. And lastly, as I said from the beginning, what's your why? Is your truth, are you calling it your truth because you're running away from something that you innately know is wrong? So you need to factor in your why. Well, thank you so much for joining me for FNN Monday edition. Until next Monday, love God, love others passionately. God bless.
Hi guys, thank you so much for watching this episode.